Welcome back to the Olive Oil Critic. I'm so glad you're here with me today to learn a little bit more about olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil is just such an essential ingredient to our diet and to making food delicious, in my opinion. I find that the flavors in olive oil can really permeate through any dish, and choosing the right olive oil and pairing it well really does make a huge difference. And there's one olive that is used extensively. It's almost on every single grocery store shelf. It's the most common olive variety grown in Spain, and most of the kind of everyday generic brands is this variety. But when it is treated really, really well, it can be absolutely stunning. So even though we have lots and lots of versions of this olive that isn't great, and that is tired and doesn't taste very good at all and is often defective, when it's treated really well in a sustainable way and loved, and when the trees are cared for, this olive can truly transform a dish. And that is Picual. And so this is an example of Picual from Castillo de Canena, and they are in south central Spain in Andalusia. Like I said, the Picual is the most common olive variety grown in Spain, and the majority of that concentration is in Andalusia. And they own a very large property in that region and have many different varieties and versions of Picual. They have some later harvest, they have some earlier harvest, they have this estate blend, which is just kind of their everyday early harvest estate family reserve Picual. And they also have a biodynamic version. So they have many different groves and they're all treated with love. Of course, the biodynamic grove has extra love and attention to be able to hold those certifications, but their family reserve is just a beautiful example of what a well cared for, well loved grove can look like, and how that olive oil can show up in everyday kitchens and in everyday dishes. Typically, Picual is a very tomato forward variety. It smells either like ripe or green tomatoes, tomato leaf if it's quite green. It can be nice and peppery. It's always very well balanced. It's also a very good yield. It's a prolific variety, and it does very well against a lot of the drought that's experienced in Spain. This grove is irrigated, so that does give the trees a little bit of help, especially in the very, very dry summers. But they're very, very intentional about how they irrigate. So the olive trees aren't flooded, water isn't wasted. All of their irrigation is underground, it's buried. So that way the water can't evaporate. It goes directly to the roots, and they have very sophisticated systems to measure the amount of water that's actually put into the ground and how much every tree needs. So that way it gets exactly what it needs, not too much, not too little either. So let's give this Family Reserve Picual a sniff, see what's inside. Oh, that's beautiful. It's very ripe tomato. I was expecting it to be a bit greener, but it's not. It's very much like ripe, juicy tomato, along with lots of fresh herbs. It's really creamy, but definitely vibrant. Nice and vibrant on the palate. That green tomato comes through a little bit more on the mouth, and the tannic kind of green tea on the sides of your palate as well. And then that beautiful kind of green peppercorn, black peppercorn finish. But this oil lands a little bit more in the bitterness than the pepperiness, or at least that pungency hasn't shown up yet for me. But the herbaceousness is really, really interesting. But also notes of green bell pepper, celery, fennel, again, tomato leaf, some artichoke in there. This oil is not nutty at all, but it's incredibly vegetal. There's just so many present vegetables in the flavor of this oil. And then it's almost like a little bit of wasabi or horseradish on the back of the palate, along with those peppercorns that really make it vibrant and kind of come alive. It's not super creamy and viscous in like a buttery texture or an avocado texture, very much like Arbequina can be. It has a lighter viscosity, but it still just fills your senses. And the my palate's totally clean and dry. It's like I didn't take a swig of oil at all. There's no greasiness, there's no oxidation or rancidity in this oil. It's of course packed under nitrogen blanket, so that way it is preserved as best as possible. But goodness, this oil is perfect for anything tomato based, tomato confit, tomato based sauces. It's great with pasta. It's delicious in meatballs. It's also really good in herbaceous things and vegetal dishes. I use it a lot for roasted vegetables, roasted potatoes, roast chicken, yams, beets, anything like that. It's also really good with feta. And so I often find that this works very, very well with salty feta. If you wanted to add some olives and feta and top it with this oil, you can marinate it. And oh my goodness, the result is delicious. It's also really good with baked feta. If you pile it with some Kalamata olives and cherry tomatoes and some red onion and then roast that in the oven, this oil just kind of seeps into the cheese and really ties the flavors together between the fruit and vegetables that you add onto that cheese and the final product. It's really, really delicious. Well, thank you so much for enjoying this oil with me today, and I hope you stop back soon to learn a little bit more about olive oil. Thanks so much.